Hello, this is Manesh Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is March 20th, 2011. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the currency markets. Okay, let's begin. This is our normal disclaimer. This is to state this is for educational use only. All charts are either in Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or freestockcharts.com. Here are my contact details. You can also follow us on Twitter at Ichimoku Trading, or you can go to our website and watch any of our free videos that we have available. Okay? We got a lot to cover, so let's start and begin by going to the Ichimoku Heat Map. Remember, the way the heat map works is where we have a rating system that's -8 to 8, where we're looking for bullish scenarios of 5 to 8, where 8 being extreme bullish, and bearish scenarios where they're from -5 to -8, where -8 is extreme bearish. Okay. Here you have all the different time frames. D5 basically means from 5 days ago. D0 is the current daily rating. These the 4 Ichimoku values according to the Ichimoku ratings for the daily system. W1 is from 1 week ago. So we're going to go through here and we're going to go look at these currency pairs and start looking for opportunities. If you look at Euro USD, it's 8 and 8 on the weekly and daily. So basically it's bullish now, and you could see the weekly last week was 6. So this is getting bullish as we speak. So last week was a good week for the Euro USD. Maybe at the extreme side, we'll have to go look at that. If we look at Pound USD, it's now in a 5 here on D0, which was 2, so that's a definitely opportunity we'll look at there. If you look here, there's conflict between daily and weekly for New Zealand USD. There's no opportunities here. If you look here, this is actually getting stronger to the bullish side, so this is getting weak, so that's in counter trend mode. Okay, SWITSI, if you look at SWITSI, it's getting more weak, so that's one we'll look at, US SWITSI for sure. If you look here, there's conflict on that one. This one looks like a good one, US yen, of course, with a volatile movement, but you could see this got stronger here on the weekly, so that we're not looking at that. I'm sorry, that went more bullish because it went from -7 to -6, so we're not going to look at that one at all. Euro yen, maybe getting ready to pop to the bullish side, but there's conflict there. Pound yen, conflict there. We'll go look at you guys know, oh, excuse me, you know of all the stuff that happened with the yen pairs and stuff like that, so you could see that going on there. SWITSI yen still is bullish on both sides, but that should be getting weaker because the yen's getting stronger. I mean, actually, we'll go look at SWITSI yen because that's actually bullish on both sides, so, but that's at the extreme now. But we'll go look at SWITSI yen. Looking down here, don't see many opportunities. You're looking for basically a 5. And so New Zealand CAD we'll definitely look at. And New Zealand CAD and Australia, New Zealand we'll look at. So we'll look at Australia, New Zealand CAD, and then we had a couple up here where we look at the Pound USD. Okay, so let's go to our charts and start looking at these pairs. We'll start off by going through some of the major pairs and go from there. Let me remove, okay, here we go. Let's go for the Euro USD. And okay, what we have here again to our left is basically the daily time frame, to our right is a weekly time frame. So we're looking at both those time frames to determine what the sentiment is. If you look at both the daily and weekly, we are trending now. We're trending nicely. So if you look at it, it's broken all resistances, so it looks like it wants to go retest this high at 42.86. However, 41.82 is a major level from a little while back ago, believe it or not, where it comes all the way back to a little while ago. So be careful at this level here. We did make a huge move Friday, so expect some pullback to occur if the strength is not that strong. But today we'll be able to detail for sure. But this is in bullish mode, but you got to be extremely careful. Reason why is our momentum indicators kind of showing overbought now. So you got to be careful and expect for a pullback. A healthy pullback would be nice to at least about 40.37 if possible, and then take off. But we have to wait and see. But this is bullish trending on both time frames now. Let's go look at Pound GBP USD. If you look at GBP USD, it's bullish on both sides, and you could see that it's been trending, but a little consolidation area here. Pound USD, if you look at it, looks very good for a possible breakout If this pound USD could really sit there and break above the pivot high, this thing's going to start a nice trend going up because everything's lined up for it. In fact, I wouldn't be probably in about 3 or 4 more days if this thing doesn't start moving up and if it starts moving down and where it goes back to this cloud, it'll be weak. But in 3 or 4 days, if this thing keeps on pushing up, then we're going to definitely have a possibility of pound USD starting to trend out to the higher side. New Zealand CAD. If you look at New Zealand CAD, it's bearish sentiment on the weekly. You can see it's bearish trending here on the daily too. A little push, it's in a little pullback right now, but this is still trending to the bottom side and still looks very, very strong to go, keep on going. So just be careful on this one because it needs to pull back, and it's in the pullback phase already, but it has a potential of keep on going up further. Let's go look at Australia, New Zealand. Australia, New Zealand, you can see is bullish on both sides. It closed right at the Tinkinson here, so this is going to be a test to see if it's a minor pullback or going to go to a medium. But you could see here that basically this is a very, very good opportunity here where basically it came back and now it's at a support level. It's held a support level and there's a potential going up. Definitely look at this if it starts moving up above 37.18. Until it moves above 37.18, there's no use for a bullish trend to continue at all, and it's in a pullback phase you could see right now. Let's go look at the US yen pairs. Here's the interesting part. Everyone thinks that they're bullish automatically because of what happened last week with all the governments intervening. Nope, it's not. You can see it's still below the Kijun-sen on the weekly. The momentum indicator is still strong, and if you look here, even though we're above the Kijun-sen on the daily, this still is bearish trending going down. We had that big little move here and then came up, but notice what happened Monday. We had a huge move up, but then we came back and retraced half. The key thing is you got to be patient for long-term trades for the yen pairs right now. You got to be patient and wait for a couple of days to go through and see what the charts look like. But right now the momentum indicator and everything is still bearish, but you know, you have conflict on time frame, so you got to be patient and wait for your opportunities to occur. Okay, let's go look at US CAD and then go look at US SWITSI. If you look at US CAD here, it's basically hanging around right at the Kijun-sen right now, and it's holding ground there. If this thing does sit there and break, you could see a little minor mini lot order here just to kind of throw it out there. If it breaks 99.08, then this thing does have potential of going and starting a counter trend, bullish trend till it goes above the cloud. But you know, until it breaks that, there's not going to be any opportunities there. And actually, it's in prime location now in 1 or 2 days, where if it does start pushing up, there could be momentum to go to the top side. So US CAD is probably more bullish now than it has ever been, and it looks like the opportunity time for it to go bullish maybe now. But you got to wait for the charts to set up to do that. Look at US SWITSI. US SWITSI's been going down. It's been a nice trend going down to the downside, so definitely wouldn't go against this at all, but this has been going down for a while, and you could see that it has. If this thing's going to reverse, it's probably going to reverse in 2 or 3 days time, but right now it looks like everything's going to sit there and go down to the downside. If you're not in this trend, don't get in it because it's already been moving down for a while, as you can see from the weekly. But if you're in this trade, tighten up your stocks for the next couple of days just to make sure. Okay, I think we've covered all the major pairs. Let's go look at Australian USD real fast. If you look at Australian USD, you could see it's in a pullback phase here based on the weekly, and you can see it's below the cloud here on the daily. So you could see that it's kind of just sitting there retreating right now. So there's not much opportunities there. Let's go look at New Zealand USD real fast. And if you look at New Zealand USD, the weekly is basically in conflict, and you could see that this is basically going down, downward trend. But since the weekly is in conflict, I would definitely not sit there and go bearish on this as of yet. Definitely needs to pull back up in order for this thing to keep on going down lower. But it needs a major pullback up, a little consolidation, and then it possibly can sit there and start for a bearish trend. But we'll look for this for future weeks, not days, for a bearish trend to start occurring. Hope you enjoyed this week's video. Hope to see you next week. Have a good week.